My first Pokemon ever was Squirtle, but considering I know almost everything about me, I do think that that's a weird choice in hindsight, because as a kid, I wasn't really a turtle guy in that way. I was much more of a lizard and snake guy, and the Kanto starter that fits that description is Charmander, but for whatever reason, I didn't pick Charmander and I got Squirtle. No regrets. Now, in Gens 2 and 3, I did go a more lizardy route. I picked Toadal, I picked Trico, and people love to talk about the fire starters from these gens, and they're not terrible, but I don't think they're really spectacular either. I'll stick with my reptiles. Gen 4 is my first fire starter. I did go with Chimchar, and I do remember knowing what Infernape looked like before I ever got Diamond and Pearl. So that definitely did play a factor in my decision, but I think Monferno is the best of this line. Gen 5, I'm going back in the water. We went with Oshawott for black and white, and I know a lot of people love to hate the Gen 5 starters, but I don't think the Oshawott line is really bad at all. I know I've seen people hate on Samurott, and I'm like, why? That's a decent design. Now, my first run of Black and White 2, I did pick Snivy, and I think Black and White 2 are some of the best games in the series. I have a lot of fun with those games, but I did not like using Snivy in-game at all. It was the only time I ever boxed a starter. In Gen 6, I was immediately charmed by Chespin, and I think a lot of people were at that time. But then they released Quilladin, and a lot of people was hating on Quilladin, and I like Quilladin, so I felt like I had to pick Chespin when I finally got the game, and to this day, I'm a Chestnut defender. Gen 7, I went with Rowlet, and to tell the truth, I don't love Rowlet or Dartrix's design, but I love the Decidueye's design. I love the fact that it's an archer. I love that it's ghost type. I love Hisui and Decidueye. Like, that final evolution saves the whole thing for me. I like Sable a lot, and I almost picked it for my first run, a Gen 8, but ultimately I did decide to go with Grookey. I liked how Rillaboom was kind of bigger and burlier than the other two starters, right? Inteleon and Cinderace are kind of skinny, and Rillaboom is just more intimidating in that way. And in Gen 9, I went with Coco, and this time around, I was really hyper diligent about not looking at any type of leaks. I blocked every account that was posting leaks, so I was truly surprised when I seen Skeledirge, but I was pleasantly surprised.